I'm Tom Lux with the Machinist Union District 751 Labor History Committee. We are talking today with Gerry Dargitz. Today's date is December 3rd, 2010. And Gerry's got a long and interesting history as a leader in District 751, and we want to share it with you today. Gerry, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about where you grew up, and when you and how you eventually got into Boeing.
Well, I was born and raised in Seattle. My folks lived in Arbor Heights district of West Seattle. In 1950, they moved from there to Lake Sammamish, and I changed high schools from West Seattle High School to Lake Washington High School. I graduated from Lake Washington High School in 1952 and started the schooling at the University of Washington. I can say easily I went broke. My folks didn't have the money to try to help me go to college. So I woke up on a Wednesday morning, went down on Friday, and shipped out in the Army. Upon basic training and other schooling I took with the Army, I wound up as an ASA student with cryptography as my MOS. I shortly after schooling got shipped to Korea. I spent 16 months in Korea. I got sent home to begin with, and in January 1956, Bertie and I moved to New York, where the Army stationed me at Fort Wadsworth. I got discharged from the Army, came home, and did like every good American young boy who grew up in Seattle did. You went down to work at Boeing's. Boeing's was giving you a lifetime job, and everybody enjoyed working for the Boeing company. So by applying for a job, I got picked up by the company, and I first went to work in receiving inspection at Plant 2. Following training in receiving inspection, I was assigned to magnetic and penetrant inspection. I was given a magnetic and penetrant inspection stamp. I then got a sonic inspection stamp. I got a fabrication stamp. Then I got a plating stamp when I worked with the gold plating of certain parts. I got transferred for a short while to other jobs, and then I was transferred into tooling inspection, and I became the lead man in tooling inspection. As working tooling inspection, I got assigned to various jobs of the tooling department, such as an airplane on the ground, a defect appearing on an airplane in the sky, and they would want to trace those defects and those problems as rapidly as they could, with the theme being, I'm from tooling inspection, make sure tooling isn't found to be guilty. We worked many types of specialty jobs. As an example, tooling inspection made some dies that worked on Tavarno chutes that went on the Minuteman missile. Those chutes had to be interchangeable from one missile to another. They weren't built for drawing, but they would be interchangeable. And they gave me those chutes with a sealed, they were sealed in a bag and I flew down to Ogden, Utah, to Hill Air Force Base, present those parts to the Air Force, show them they were interchangeable, and then fly back home. At one time during this, they had me 5 months in Ogden, Utah. In traveling like this, I did quite a bit of traveling for the Boeing company. In 1965, the Machinists Union called a strike against the Boeing company. The strike was a disaster. At the end of the first day, we had 10,000 employees that went into work, broke the picket line. The problem being that no one was prepared. It had been so long since there had been a strike at Boeing's, nobody was prepared to have one. The strike went down, and people like Don Newsom, I can't remember the names like I should, sign of old age. But we put a team together and took over what was left of the strike and started transporting people to their picket assignment using our own cars to begin with, to get them to the plant, and then hope they would still be there when their shift was over and we wanted to take them back. The next strike, well not strike, the next negotiations was 1968. It was one of the best negotiations I had any involvement with at the Boeing company. We were able to change big items and small items that were important, such as we changed the labor grades from grade 10 at the lowest to a B, letter B at the top. We rechanged the order of those and started with labor 1 being the lowest and 10 being the top. We started the negotiations on the voluntary savings plan, which went into effect the next negotiations. But we had had discussions with the company on that voluntary savings plan. In preparation for the 68 negotiations where we changed the job descriptions, the Boeing company had 1,600 job descriptions. I rewrote the 1,600 job descriptions down to 225. At the end of negotiations, we had gone down to 800 job descriptions in the company, which extended the employees' seniority rights over a broader bunch of people. And the company had a harder time fitting people into a small square and then lay off that group without touching people that had less seniority around them. We even had to begin with seniority between plants. Renton had a seniority structure, and Plant 2 had a seniority structure. A tooling inspector or a fabrication inspector at Plant 2 might be number 1 in seniority. But when he got transferred to Renton, he now might be number 7 in seniority. There's an odd, people began thinking, if I get moved to Renton, I'm going to lose my job. We got rid of the seniority section between the two plants. It became all one seniority section for everybody in the Puget Sound area.